man. If you guys check that out, guys, over there, you get a bunch of different stuff, man. You get some cup footage, you get some growing footage, you get some soil footage, but there's also, I like the day in the lives, man. I was watching a lot of your day in the lives. I think it's super cool, man, because like you've been doing this for a fucking long time, and you've got this really unique growing method where everything is super clean, man. Like I was looking at one of your farms, and there's like wood chippings on the ground, man. Like, is that to keep it clean, or is it like, what's the process for that? What are these wood chippings?
That's just to jump into that farm a little bit. When on that where you're looking at, that was 2016, I think, on that one, 15, and then. But that was when I first came out of the closet through transparency and said, fuck you guys, I'm going to show you how to grow organics. Because, you know, we could talk a good game and our plants are great and I grow the best weed and I don't have any problems. And, you know, I'm growing 9-pound plants on a consistent level. But you talk is cheap until you put it in practice. So I was in Sonoma County, California with that farm. And that farm was the biggest at this time in Sonoma County. I had every sheriff in that county wanted to arrest me and put me in jail. And then I had every cartel wanting to, you know, destroy me on that one as well. And they were flying helicopters over me every day. And I had 72,000 patients signed up underneath my collective in dispensaries back then. And so I went to Jill Radish was a prosecuting attorney for cannabis. And so I went to her and I had a meeting and I said, hey, look, here's the deal. I have an open door policy. You can come in anytime, save the gas, save the helicopter. You guys, I'll give you a tour of the farm. I'm way over my numbers, right? I think we were allowed back then next to nothing in plants. I was over federal guidelines and everything. And so we had and I told her I'm not the small hanging fruit. Like I showed her 72,000 patients signed up under it, had 3 badass attorneys on me. I said, I hope you guys come in and harvest everything. And she looked at me crazy. I said, yeah, because I'm going to accelerate my numbers of harvest, you know, increase them dramatically. I'm not going to have to pay the labor to harvest. I'm not going to have to store it, and I'm not going to have to sell any of it. You're going to pay me all that. So then it all stopped. I had no police, no whatsoever. Still, the cops at the stores were harassing me. They're saying they're going to get me. And then a few weeks before harvest, I don't have guns on site. That's another story. You know, I ended up in a gunfight and chased someone 3 miles and found following a pool of blood. And I realized I'm not a responsible farmer or a responsible gun owner. So I quit then. I'm responsible now. I have guns now. But in cultivation, I didn't want to, I said, if I have to protect a plant and almost take somebody's life and not think of what's going to happen. What do you do when you shoot someone? You get the backhoe out and bury them? Do you kill all your farm workers that are your homeboys on site in case they might say anything? These are things you never think of, right? So I said, I was like, I'm not a responsible farm, no weapons on site. And then the cartel was going to come raid me. They were going to come take all my shit. And on that same farm I showed that you were talking about. And the police were going to raid me at harvest too. So I went out and I hired a retired sheriff that was trying to be not a bounty hunter, but you know, one of those, have his own outside career.
Private investigator or something.
Private investigator. So I hired him sight unseen, and I told him to show up, and I gave him killer fucking money. And I said, just make sure you're packing, and you can be my security on site for the rest of the time. This guy came in, looked at me, told me, you got the biggest balls of steel. He goes, not only have you turned all my fucking homies that hate you, your best friend, and going to protect me because I'm in here, that means they're protecting you. They also heard that you were going to get taken out by the cartel. So now that I'm in here, your whole property is going to be surrounded by police protecting you instead of taking you out. And so that was a turning point in my life. But that is to go back to that farm. That farm was built on transparency because I wanted to show people how you can grow organically outside and how you can produce high yields and high quality, and how do you keep the pest at prey, keep them away from you, always be clean, like you were saying with the wood chips. And then I do companion planting with like corn, a lot of different types of melons and pumpkins all around the perimeter outside of my patches, because bugs don't like cannabis. They like water. And so they come into your patch because everything else is fucked up. They don't even like it. It's just something to eat to get some nourishment. So if you give them better tasting product, they ain't going to want your cannabis. They're going to want everything on the outside of it. So cleanliness is always the most important. And when you're going to do something, do it fucking right. Like, have some pride and dignity in it, and talk about it. How many years later, 7, 8 years later, you bring up that site. Why did I do that? Because I just wanted to prove a point of how to do something. If you're going to do it, be the best you can possibly be at doing it.
It's pretty fun.